Very soon, Mel Gibson started to film the sequel of Passion of the Christ, Resurrection. The first film grossed $600 million on a budget of only $30 million. So Mel Gibson is going to do a sequel to this movie. The good news for those who truly enjoyed the previous one, The Passion of Christ, Resurrection, is about to hit us hard. Here is all the information you need. The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson, is undoubtedly in progress, but the sequel seems to be much more divisive. The Passion of the Christ, directed by Mel Gibson, stunned the world in 2004. It became known for being one of the bloodiest biblical pictures ever made and is now regarded as one of the most well-liked and contentious religious films ever made. Because of its recognizable subject matter, it has gained public controversy. The Passion of the Christ, which was primarily influenced by the Gospel of John, also incorporated a variety of Catholic doctrines and even Anne Catherine Emmerich's visions, but its release was particularly troublesome. However, Gibson's own personal difficulty was not helpful due to accusations of anti-Semitism. Due to all of these factors, The Passion of the Christ, Resurrection, the follow-up to Mel Gibson's The Passion, is eagerly anticipated. We're in for Mel Gibson's magnum opus, says actor Jim Caviezel, who read a fresh draft of the script. Despite that, not much is known about Gibson's plans for the follow-up. Although the movie's initial release date was set for 2021, most other details are kept relatively vague. In interviews, they claim a UK media site attempted to connect Gibson's premiere date with the publication of a book published by a professor at the University of Edinburgh. The professor has said that even if Mel Gibson is the topic of her book's analysis, the publishing date has nothing to do with any actresses on screen debut. Additionally, it was stated that a significant portion of Mel Gibson's sequel will occur there. In 2016, during his conversation with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show, Gibson made speculative remarks about sending us to hell. So perhaps Gibson's portrayal of never-ending pain will be shown to us, because there isn't much knowledge, scholarly or otherwise, regarding it. Gibson has the freedom to be quite creative with his interpretation. Gibson has openly talked about the possibility of a sequel that continues the plot. The Passion of the Christ has unquestionably been one of the most significant biblical epics ever produced by Hollywood as of 2004. Gibson's desire to turn this into a loose franchise is therefore not particularly surprising, especially at a time when franchises frequently have greater pull than individual performers and directors. The second installment of The Passion of the Christ is rumored to start filming in April 2023, following years of speculation. Randall Wallace, a regular collaborator of Gibson's, contributed on the script, and Wallace expressed interest in playing the sequel actor. Jim Caviezel asserted that the script had been finished in September 2020 and that the movie would be the biggest ever made. The suffering and resurrection of Jesus, which at first glance appears to be a fair strategy. Christians hold that after Jesus died and rose from the dead, his passion was consummated by a fleeting glimpse of the crucified Jesus. However, there have been repeated assertions over the years that the resurrection itself will not be the primary focus. The focus of the movie will be on the 3 days that passed between Jesus' death and resurrection, during which many Christians think Jesus was crucified and went to hell. In order to declare war on the devil and his realm, Jesus descended into hell and tore down its barriers. It's important to remember that just a small number of scriptures in the Bible made such events plain. Therefore, there has been a great deal of debate among Christians about this particular idea. It's risky to broach the issue of presenting Jesus Christ's resurrection for what would be seen to be incorrect stylistic choices. The majority of filmmakers would immediately receive criticism. Mel Gibson, though, is more revered by the Christian community than other people, so he likely has some wiggle room. Of course, this is advantageous, along with being the foundation of the entire faith. Personally, I believe Gibson has a few options at his disposal. With the exception of the fact that Jesus was sent to hell before being raised to life, the Bible doesn't go into great detail regarding what transpired during the 3 days between his death and resurrection. There are other literary works that, despite the Bible's paucity of material, have merged so thoroughly with Western religious culture that people occasionally mistake their events for canonical ones. Dante's Divine Comedy is Gibson's most important source in this sense. Dante's Inferno gives vivid depictions of what it looks like in which ancient philosophers are staying there, despite the New Testament's uncommon proportions being stored there. Additionally, Gibson has the option of using Milton's Paradise Lost to represent heaven and hell. There is a ton of imagery in this epic poem that has already had an impact on culture. A number of well-known movies have drawn inspiration from the Bible. However, some of the more imaginative themes frequently turn over the top when studios attempt this. Thanks to the screen's rhythm, a lot of visual effects are used in the animated picture, The Prince of Egypt, and films like Noah to emphasize the more fantastical elements of the plot. A well-known figure from the Bible serves as the main character in Noah, a film by Darren Aronofsky that didn't downplay the idea that he might be insane. Famously, the movie showed gigantic rock creatures assisting Noah. Mel Gibson's Resurrection offers him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to use movie magic to represent the most significant miracle in the Christian faith. Gibson's last film was made to be utterly realistic, but he can now handle situations that take place outside of our planet. He must also choose how to represent them. Gibson doesn't seem to have a style like this, whereas Noah used CGI to create gigantic animals. He is not producing a typical action film. After all, he wants this to be remembered as his biggest success. Who will play the lead roles in this eagerly awaited film? No, but in all seriousness, Caviezel will reprise his role as Jesus alongside Mary Francesca DeVito, Maia Morgenstern, and Christopher. And everybody will return as well. Jim Caviezel reported receiving the third draft of the script in the Breitbart interview from 2020. This shows that the picture was unquestionably in production and, once more, that he is confident that it will be the greatest movie ever made. However, those involved in the film's production purposefully keep some facts a secret. Given how many details are still up in the air, any statements about the movie could impede development. Gibson appears dedicated to making this film even if the script has undergone numerous revisions if it's to be his magnum opus. Nobody can fault him for trying to make it flawless. But right now, all we have is a con. Although there isn't a firm release date for the movie, Gibson wouldn't be as surprised to see at the premiere, which is expected to start shooting in the spring of 2023 for the Passion of the Christ resurrection. In order to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the first movie's debut and to mark the approaching resurrection of Christ, aim for Easter 2024.